Actually, I did not unmute. Okay. So the students who have connected online, am I audible?
Sir.
Okay. Thank you for confirmation. Okay. Those who have connected online, you should be able to see my screen, and my voice should be clearly audible. My voice should be clearly audible. If not, please check the mic and speakers from your end. And please reconnect quickly if possible. Again, someone else please confirm, am I audible clearly? Some other person also please confirm. You can unmute from your end. We have a facility to unmute. You can unmute and you can respond. So am I audible clearly, every one of you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so our class will start sharp 7 a.m. So you stay connected on meeting, okay, and you can go ahead with your any other works. You can be available just 2 to 3 minutes before 7 o'clock, but stay connected on the meeting, okay, and do your work. Thank you for connecting early. Just I want to make sure that you check your audio connection, everything is working fine or not. Our class will start sharp 7 a.m. IST. Please stay connected. Please stay connected. Okay. So in between, I'll talk to you guys multiple times. Just stay connected, everyone. So we'll start at 7 o'clock sharp. Okay. Screen కనబడుతుందా మీకు క్లియర్గా? Okay. Just relax for a while. So finally, once again, I wanted to just make sure that all of you, whoever has connected online, you should be able to see my screen and able to hear me. And those who have connected, you please be on mute every time. Whenever you have any doubt or any question, you can unmute and ask me. You have access to unmute. Okay. And yeah, please make sure that you are going to be on mute every time. If you have any doubt or anything, you can raise your hand. You can ask me a question by chatting window. You can use GoToMeeting chatting window in order to talk to me, or you can unmute and speak out. But every time whenever I am going to say some topic, I'll get back to you and check with you whether you understand it or not. So don't go in between and interrupt, but please wait for me to get back to you to get your confirmation whether you are able to follow or not. Okay, I'll be doing that. So properly I'll moderate. Please make sure that you are going to follow the session closely. Okay, it is 7 o'clock now. We will start now. We will start our session. See, myself, I am Harsha, and I have around 15 years of experience training the students on Pega PRPC. And we have the students here offline and online mode, and we have students from across the globe, like different countries they are connecting from. And this training program that you are going to take, the Pega training program, this will be conducted for almost 3.5 months to 4 months. This is completely a real-time project-oriented training program. Okay. So please make sure that you are going to join the training sessions every day morning 7 o'clock sharp, as you are attending today. So today you have connected at 7 o'clock, and many of you are available just 10 to 15 minutes before itself. So the same way, every day you please be available to the class just 5 minutes before, at least 5 minutes before to the 7 o'clock. Okay, and those who have connected online, so every one of you, many of you have connected before 7 o'clock itself, and it is good that you join the session or training program to the class 5 minutes before every day. Same timings will be followed every day to throughout this tenure, like 7 to 8. This timing is fixed. Okay, and what are we going to learn today? So your Pega so all of you are here to learn Pega and to get into a Pega job. So you might have so many questions and you might have so many doubts in your mind, like whether Pega is suitable to you or not. What is the market for Pega? What are the job opportunities available in Pega? And how should you learn Pega? And what is the approach to job getting into job? And like this, maybe freshers or experienced candidates or some candidates who have gap after education. So you might have so many questions in your mind. So to clarify your queries and doubts, you would have already reached out to our admin team. Okay. So they might have guided you accordingly. So if you still have any questions, you can talk to me. I will be available. I will give you my phone number. So after some time, I'll give you my phone number also. You can talk to me uh, after probably after 12 o'clock. After 12 o'clock, and anyone from other countries, you can talk to me India time, evening time, like 8:30 p.m. India time. That should be morning time for you. Okay, like that you can reach out to me at your convenient time, like sorry, at our convenient time. And next, what are we going to learn in Pega? All that I will explain you. See, all your queries, questions, doubts, everything I will clarify you on day 3. So we are going to sit here, and day 1 we are going to look at Pega and BPM, Pega and BPM, and architecture of these things, architecture. So day 1 and day 2 also same thing, continuation. Day 2 will be continuation of day 1. It is continuation of day 1. So afterwards, I will give you time to ask me questions. So day 3, I will completely leave it to you. Day 1, day 2, we are going to purely look into understanding about Pega and understanding about BPM and the respective architecture. Okay, so no questions related to Pega jobs or maybe Pega related, I mean like a market or maybe your career related questions. That should not fall into either day 1 or day 2, because I will give you complete 1 hour time to talk to me, and I have some questions that are available with me. Those are frequently asked questions. And also, after this training session is completed today, after some time, you will receive a document. You will be receiving a document of FAQ, frequently asked questions. Definitely, you will get an answer for your question in that FAQ document. I think you might have already received that document. You can go through it. Otherwise, today we will share you. So what will be shared to you? What will be provided to you from the institute and from the trainer, and all that I will cover on day 3. Okay. So day 1, day 2 is completely going to be the sessions dedicated for understanding about Pega, understanding about BPM, so that you will get some clear idea about what is Pega, what is its architecture, what is BPM, what is its architecture, why Pega is called as BPM. Like that, some questions are there to clarify you about what is Pega and all. Okay, clear everyone? Every one of you, are you clear so far? You can always you can respond on the charting window. Okay, whenever I ask you some question, you can respond on the charting window. That will be good. Okay, clear, right, everyone? Okay, so now here you go now. So what is Pega? So today we are going to, okay, day 3 is completely, day 3 is going to be Q&A session. Q&A session. Okay, so let's go ahead now and look at our day 1 session. So day 1, we are going to look at what is Pega and its purpose in the real world. Suppose if you are going to learn Pega now, what are you going to be, and where Pega is being used? What is it all about? And next thing is, what is BPM? Just give me 1 minute. I'll just mute everybody. Me 1 minute. I'll have to unmute. Okay, what is BPM and its architectural components, software development lifecycle at a high level, and Pega versus BPM. So I have a PPT to explain you all of these things in detail. Okay, so in this PPT we have around 23 slides, but we will not be able to finish all the slides today itself with the explanation. So probably we'll complete up to some extent to a perfect point, and today we will stop, and the next thing we'll continue tomorrow. Okay. So let's go ahead and discuss now what is Pega and what is its purpose. See, Pega is a software tool. Pega is a software tool. If you want to develop any applications, if you want to develop application, for example, I am telling to reach out to you in a better way, the applications that you access in your day-to-day life, I'm going to take the example of those applications. So if you're going to learn Pega, you are going to be an application developer where you will be working on user interface, designing user interface, and implementing business logic, user interface, implementing business logic, and working with database by implementing the queries. Okay, database working with database. So where you will be dealing with the uh, queries, but you will not write anything. So Pega is used to develop applications where the applications are going to have user interface, business logic, and database related thing. So whenever you are going to learn Pega, you will be called as Pega developer. You will be called as Pega developer. As a Pega developer, you will working on developing Pega user interface, and you will be implementing the business logic using Pega, and you will be you will be implementing something related to communicating with database, maybe to store the data, to retrieve the data, to update the data, to delete the data. Like this, you are going to work on all of these things when you learn Pega. So Pega is used for developing applications. Pega is used for developing web applications. What type of specific applications we develop, that I will cover later. Developing applications. So where in the application you will have user interface, business logic, and database. All these things will be there. But one beautiful thing about Pega is that, so you are going to develop applications. You are going to develop applications without writing the code. Without writing the code. So when I say code doesn't mean only programming language code. When we say generally coding means what comes to our mind is C language, Python, Java, CPP, and maybe other technologies like uh, VB, like this. So those are not only coding. Even I mean to say like script coding also. Scripting languages, those also you don't have to deal with. Generally, if you want to develop user interface, we need to learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, like this. If you are learning any other technologies like full stack technologies, Java full stack, Python full stack with C++, full stack .NET. If you are learning, you may have to have the knowledge about user interface development, where you may have to learn HTML scripting, CSS writing, and JavaScript. All these you might have to learn when you are learning other technologies. So learning those, you will be able to develop UI. But in Pega, if you want to develop user interface, you don't have to learn any programming languages. You don't have to learn any programming languages or scripting languages. Pega is just a drag and drop tool where you can develop user interface just by dragging and dropping the controls and all into your user interface and create the web forms. Web forms means, for example, you can see here, suppose I go to Google and then say Facebook. Let's say Facebook sign up. So I can sign up, create a new account on Facebook. In order to create a new account on Facebook, you need to interact with some web form. This is called web form. Whatever you see here on the browser is called as web form, where you have controls in the web form. So for this to design, usually you have to learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. But the same thing can be developed in Pega without the need of writing HTML code, without the need of writing CSS or JavaScript, and even you don't have to have any knowledge about any of these technologies. Okay, that's how Pega is called as no coding software development tool. Pega is a no coding software development tool. It is completely, there is no coding involved in Pega, not only UI. Now coming to the business logic. Business logic means it's like programming language code. for everything that you interact with user interface. Suppose you take your phone pay, Google Pay and all. When you transfer money, after money is being transferred, it will be debited from your account. It will be debited from your main account. So internally what will happen is user interface, whatever you see, user interface means browser screen that you see, it interacts with the business logic. There will be an interaction with UI with business logic. Coding will be executed. This code to be implemented for processing purpose. This code to be written for what purpose? Processing purpose. If you want some processing to be done, then whatever the actions you perform on UI, if it has to be processed, then you have to go ahead and implement the business logic. For implementing the business logic, you other people who are learning other full stack technologies, they may have to learn some coding languages like C++, Java, VB, Python, like this. But in Pega, we can implement business logic without the need of writing any code, even single line, or you don't have to remember any syntaxes, and you don't have to know about programming structures and all. So you will still be implementing business logic without writing code. After I am going to register, sign up on Facebook, what will happen is my data, whatever I have submitted through user interface, will get stored into database. It will get stored into database. So for you, a registration has happened and your data is now permanently stored into something called as database. I will show you what is database available in Pega and all when we start our Pega PRPC environment. This environment I will not show you today, so I'll tell you later. Okay, I'll tell you later about Pega environment. So first, it is not environment. We need to understand the fundamentals. Okay, so for this, actually from the business logic, you need to implement some queries within business logic. The queries should hit. So database can understand structured query language. Database can understand structured query language. For that, a developer may have to learn about how to write the queries, what is the syntax of insert query, update query, delete query, and so many different joins like this you need to learn. See, you will be performing this kind of things in Pega also, but you don't have to learn any query writing. You don't have to learn any query writing. You don't even have to know about SQL and its structure. So without knowing or having knowledge about HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and business logic and database related concepts, you will be able to develop applications using Pega, where Pega is a user interface related tool where you can develop the applications without writing even single line of code. You can implement everything here in Pega. How you are going to achieve it? That's what you are going to learn while you start your course. Understand clear? So far, everyone clear? Any doubts or any questions so far? You can respond on the charting window. Every one of you, are you clear so far? Okay, good. Thank you. See, when you started, okay, Ashok, you are raising your hand. Do you have any question? You can ask, unmute and ask, or you can send your question in the charting window.
Not now. Actually,
Not.
supposed to ask initial only. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much. You don't have any doubt now, right? Okay, let's go ahead now. See, you might have heard when you started knowing about Pega, when you started inquiring about, someone is saying we need all coding languages. No, we don't need any like that. You'll be learning. You don't need. You don't need anything like that. No. Okay, and here you go now. Here you go now. Let's start now. See here. See, when you started inquiring about Pega and when you started research on Pega, when someone tells you about Pega and you started research, you might have seen Pega BPM, so different words you might have come across, Pega BPM and Pega PRPC, like this. So you are going to get a clarity about all these things now. So why they are calling? So you might have heard like Pega is a BPM tool. Pega is a BPM tool. Pega BPM. That's what you might have heard. So before we proceed to know about Pega, we need to have a clear idea and understanding about BPM and its architecture. So as I have told you about Pega, the same thing you apply to BPM. For some time, you imagine like, or you consider like, BPM is also like Pega tool only. Pega tool, as I mentioned, Pega tool is used to develop the applications without the need of coding. Same thing you apply to BPM. You just consider that BPM is a tool which is used to develop applications where you are not going to write any code, So what are we going to know about BPM now? So what is BPM? and its architectural components. So for now, you think BPM is a tool which is used to develop applications. Here you go now. Pega is used to develop applications. I told you there is no coding required. And coming to BPM. So if you want to develop applications using Pega, using other technologies, it will take a lot of time. But using Pega, if you are developing, it can be done within less span of time because you are not writing code anything from the scratch. That's the additional point I have to cover. Okay, just one point. Now, what is BPM? BPM stands for Business Process Management. BPM stands for what? Business Process. That's just an abbreviation. Business Process Management. A business process, how your business have to be processed, will be defined and managed by the BPM system. If you take a BPM tool, you can go ahead and implement your business process. You can define your business process on BPM tool. That means, suppose you take your phone pay application, you take Google Pay application, you take net banking application. When you initiate a transaction, so step by step transaction will be processed. Step by step transaction will be processed. You are going to initiate a transaction, funds transfer, and you'll give add payee, and then you will give what is the amount that you want to transfer, and finally you give a confirmation by entering the OTP. Finally the amount will be credited to customer and it will be debited from your account. All these are different steps that are going to happen usually. So this is what you are trying to process your business. That is the main motive of business, right? What is the motive of main business of banking? Deposit money, withdraw money, provide loans. Like this, there are different processes involved in a business. That process has to be designed and developed like a software digital application. So in order to design and develop this type of processes, we have so many technologies available in the market, out of which BPM is a tool. As of now, you can consider BPM is a tool using which you can develop the applications which will process your business, So BPM has a multi-stepped transaction oriented design. BPM has a multi-stepped transaction oriented design. Let me mute all. Just give me 1 minute because there is a lot of noise. Okay, so look at here now. So BPM stands for Business Process Management, which provides the ability to have end-to-end visibility and control over all parts of a multi-step transaction in a business application. Let's understand this definition in detail. What is it all about? Yeah, am I audible now? Just let me check with you. Am I audible clearly, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for confirmation. So BPM stands for Business Process Management, which provides the ability to have end-to-end visibility and control over all parts of a multi-step transaction in a business application. BPM is used to develop business process applications where you will design your transaction model like a flowchart. If you want to design a transaction model of, let's say for example, money withdrawal process from ATM, it will have certain process defined from beginning to the till end of the transaction. In the transaction, there are multiple steps involved. You begin the transaction and then you enter the card number and PIN number, and it will be verified within the system. And after the verification is successful, then transaction will be processed. You will get the money out of the machine and it will be completed. If any verification failure, unmatch is there within card number, PIN numbers and all, it says that transaction declined, no match found in the records, something like that. So this all process, step by step, the screens and background processing, everything you need to develop as a developer. Once you develop it as a developer and make it available to the actual customers, then customers make use of the application. So the applications that you are accessing today, like phone pay, Google Pay, net banking, or Amazon application, all these applications are being developed by some developers, and they made it available as a product in the market, so you are able to use it as an end user. As an end user, you do not realize what is really happening inside, but you can understand only up to user interface part. You can understand only up to UI. Whatever you can see in the browser, whatever you are doing, that only your experience, but internally so many things will happen. Now So what should happen from the moment a transaction begins to till transaction ends, all can be defined like a transaction model in BPM, like a flow chart where it will have multiple steps involved in it. That is, step 1, enter the card number and PIN number in the transaction. Step 2, verify the card number, PIN number, and then everything is fine. You are going to process the transaction and dispense the money out of the machine. Otherwise, it is going to end in a different direction. So this is called multiple steps are involved in your transaction processing. That's what we call it as multi-stepped transaction. You are going to use BPM to develop your application and you to define your business process transaction model, where you are going to design and define your business transaction model like a flow diagrammatical model. Okay, suppose you are working on Java full stack, Python full stack, same thing you will do, but there is no flow diagrammatical model. You will not see any diagrams, but same you will be implementing like a coding. But here in BPM, you are going to design it like a flow diagram model. Just to, I wanted to show you how it will be available in Pega. I'm not going to execute. This is what you call it as flow diagram model. It is getting loaded. It is a small and simple flow diagrammatical model. The transaction begins here, transaction ends at the red color circle. In between, 2 steps are involved as of now. Okay, in this. So we are going to learn to design large flows in our application to cover everything from end-to-end development from beginning to till ending of our learning. Understand clear, everyone? So we are going to learn so much. So like this, BPM is a software development tool which you can use to develop applications where you define your transaction model to have multiple steps involved, where all the steps are connected from starting step to till ending step. There should be a continuity in the connection to process your transaction. Clear so far? Now, so BPM has the ability, it has such an ability to provide you end-to-end visibility and control over all parts of a transaction model that you are designing. What do you mean by end-to-end visibility that BPM provides? So if you are going to use BPM tool to develop your applications, it can provide you end-to-end solutions. What it can provide? It can provide end-to-end solutions. For this to know, you need to understand about software development lifecycle. Software develop. If you want to develop applications using any technology, can you tell me, if you are a client like TCS and you are receiving some application development work from some other uh, customer like Bank of America is giving you work to develop their applications, what is the initial starting phase of a project? Any one of you, can you tell me? If you are working employee, you can say this. So, or maybe it is also available in our graduation as well. What is the starting phase of application development, project development? Requirements. First phase is kickstart of your application development is requirements. First you will be receiving the requirements. Generally in a real-time project, the requirements will be gathered. Requirements will be gathered by using a tool called as Jira. What is the tool name? Jira. That is most widely being used tool called as Jira tool. And after that, a developer is going to go through the requirements, do analysis, design, and development. He is going to do analysis, design, and development. He will be using some editors like Eclipse, Python editors, etc. If a programming language developer, Pega means they will be using Pega editor, Pega software they will be using. So you need some some environment to go ahead and do development, and then you will perform unit testing whether all that you have developed is working as expected or not. After that, there will be another team called QA, quality analyst team. We also call them as testers. Testers are going to test your application once again, whether the developer, whatever he has developed, is it meeting the expected behavior or not. So once testers have successfully tested, and it will be moving to live servers by build and deployment process. You don't have to think about it. For testing purpose, you may be using tools like Selenium, Tosca, and all. For deployment purpose, ARM, GitHub, DevOps tools you'll be using. And there will be something called as version management also available. Version management means every time you develop something, you will release new versions. When you are releasing new versions, old versions have to be kept into some places without losing those. And reporting also you'll be doing. What is that called as? Reporting. Suppose after you develop your business application, you made it available to the actual customers. So 1 month is over. Now after 1 month, business is expecting to see what has happened in the past 1 month. How many transactions of deposit have been done in our business for an amount of $10,000, greater than $10,000, greater than $10,000. How many transactions have happened? Okay, in past 30 days, I want to know. So this type of visual user interface you need to provide to the business people. So they will use it for analysis purpose. What is the purpose they use it for? Analyzing their business. So if you are using YouTube, you can analyze your YouTube channel. Analytics will be there everywhere. If you have Google Pay and Phone Pay also, how many transactions you have done outside, how many transactions you have received inside. Okay, all this analysis information you can find out there. So like this, these features can be implemented by using a concept called as reporting. What is the concept? Reporting. Reporting can be done by using the tools like Tableau, ClickView, Power BI, etc. So where you are going to be a SQL developer, you can use third-party tools like this. So in a software development lifecycle, there are so many tools involved in developing the applications, and there are so many teams involved in software development lifecycle process. A developer is not going to perform generally all of these things. But BPM has the ability to provide end-to-end solutions end-to-end solutions of your application development. That means BPM is an environment where you can develop the applications and you can design your transaction model like a flow diagram, defining the multiple steps, and also it provides end-to-end solutions facilities. That means on a single BPM environment, you work on something called requirement gathering. Okay, you can do development, you can do unit testing, you can do other testings, you can do deployment, you can do version management, you can do reporting, everything all as a unified platform. BPM is available. That's what BPM has the ability to provide end-to-end solutions to its client. If you are going to purchase a BPM tool, and if you're going to use a BPM tool for application development, where requirement starting from requirement phase to application development, testing, deployment, versioning, reporting, everything can be done on single tool, even by a developer can do it without knowing about the programming languages knowledge and without writing a single line of code. That can be done by using BPM. So that's how BPM is a unified platform which provides everything. Okay, every one of you, are you clear about BPM? Everyone, whoever has connected online, am I audible? And are you clear so far? Any doubts in this? How you, so as part of this training program, you all are going to learn all of these things, whatever you see here on the screen. So in an SDLC lifecycle, you're going to learn development, you're going to learn requirements, and you're going to run testing, you're going to learn version management, you're going to learn reporting. All these you are going to learn, but you are not going to write even a single line of code. Understand? Make sense? Clear? Okay. So we can proceed further, right? Okay, thank you. And now, so that's what BPM is a software development product tool which has ability to provide you complete solutions of software development lifecycle, where you can design your transaction model like to have like a flow chart, and where you can add multiple steps connected from starting to ending. So BPM stands for business process management, which has the ability to provide you end-to-end solutions of your application development, and you design your transaction model like a flow diagram. That's what you are practically going to implement, creating flow diagrams while designing the transaction model. One by one steps we will add, we will connect, and we'll learn to finish our application end to end. Clear? Next. Okay, so I said BPM is going to provide you an application development environment. See, what is the difference? At a high level, I am not going to go in depth. At a high level, what is the difference between a traditional application development and BPM application development? I am just going to give you just a high level information. Traditional application development or BPM application development, both of these, it will have user interface, it will have business logic, it will have database. But in traditional application development, you are going to write the respect to scripting, coding, and queries. But in BPM, you are not going to write any such code to develop any of these things. And additionally, apart from these three layers, which you have UI logic database, These 3 layers will also be available in BPM. We'll be practically working on it. Additionally, one more component is there in BPM. That is called as process. What is it called as? Process. So BPM has an additional component called as process or flow diagram. Process or flow diagram. Then what is meant by a process? A process is a unit of work. Process is a unit of work that can be completed either by acceptance or rejection. That means in order to design your transaction model, you can create a process oriented architecture. You can go ahead with a process oriented architecture. In BPM, a transaction life cycle from beginning to ending can be designed like a flow chart that also can be called as process, or you can also call it as flow. So if I say process, or if I say flow, or if I say flow chart, both are same. All this is used to define transaction life cycle. Clear everyone? Online students, are you clear? So one transaction if you do from beginning to ending, that means one work is done. Transaction can also be called as is equal to work. You can also refer a transaction with another word called as work. If you have done a deposit, that means you have done a deposit transaction. If you withdraw money from ATM, that means you have done one withdrawal transaction. This means you have performed some work. You have done some work in your banking. Everyone clear? So in order to develop applications which are going to deal with business process management, you will be using BPM tool, where process defines the transaction life cycle. So now all this you are going to develop using BPM, right? So that environment can be called as BPM suite. If you are developing applications using Java, you might be using the IDEs like Eclipse or any other IDEs. Okay. And if you are going to develop applications using .NET, you might be using Microsoft Visual Studio. So if you are using any technology to develop applications, మీకు ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఉందా లేదా? క్లాస్ వింటున్నారా అసలు? మీ వెనక అతను మీరు అసలు ఎక్కడ రెస్పాండ్ అవ్వట్లేదు. ఐ థింక్ యు ఆర్ నాట్ మచ్ ఇంట్రెస్టెడ్, రైట్? మీకు అర్థం కావట్లేదా? అంటే మీ అసలు నీడ్ ఉందా, మీకు అవసరం ఉందా లేదా? ఓకే, ప్లీజ్ బీ రెస్పాన్సివ్. ఓకే, సో BPM is a software development tool where you are going to develop applications and define your business process by considering some built-in business rules. So this particular tool, you can name it as BPM suite. What you can name it as? BPM suite. BPM tool, if you want to give a name, you can say it's a suite, BPM suite, just for our better understanding and all. So using BPM suite, you can develop your applications and you can define your business process by considering some built-in business rules. What do you mean by business rules? Here is the actual learning starts now. You need to clearly understand what is a business rule. Suppose if you take a BPM tool, you are going to develop applications, okay. You're going to design your transaction life cycle, okay. And your business transaction will be processed on BPM tool only, okay. But the system will be controlled. BPM system will be controlled by built-in business rules. What do you mean by a business rule? I'm not going to explain you technically in depth about business rule. You'll be learning about technically what is it, you'll be learning when we start our course. But for your better understanding and ease understanding, I am going to tell you with real life example. What is a business rule? What is its purpose? What is it going to do? Suppose we are a human being. Okay. So we are a person. So we will have certain rules defined in our life. Suppose some person, okay, he is going to define certain rules. I want to wake up early morning, 5 o'clock. I want to study for 1 hour. After that, have my work tasks done. And then I want to have breakfast at 8 o'clock and do some exercise, go for walking, and then come back, go to office by 10 o'clock, and then come back and just do every other tasks, have dinner by 7 p.m., 8 p.m. like that. And then my sleep time is going to be 10 p.m., something like that. See, you are going to lead your life based on certain rules and regulations that you are going to apply in your life. So these rules are going to control you indirectly. Your lifestyle will be controlled by this type of rules only. So I'll tell you another example. Suppose if I am driving on a car on a road, Okay, then once I see a red signal, I am going to stop before zebra crossing. So what is this red signal here? Red signal here is a traffic rule. It is a traffic rule. The entire system of vehicles movement is being controlled by traffic rule. Once you see the red signal, you're going to stop. Once you see the green signal, you're going to move on. So a system, every system in this world will be controlled by certain rules and regulations. If you take AC as a system, the AC will be controlled by rules. What is the rule here? That is a temperature indicator. Like you are going to put the temperature 26, you are going to get room temperature. If you're going to make it 20, then you are going to feel some cooling in the room. So a system will be controlled. Every system will be controlled by certain rules, whether it is a human being, whether it is a computer or AC or any software product. So BPM tool, using BPM tool, we can develop applications, we can define your transaction lifecycle like a process, and your transaction can be processed by built-in business rules. Some certain rules are defined in the system. Those rules are going to control the transaction processing. Suppose if I have I have a credit card. My credit card limit is 5 lakh rupees. I went to a purchase center. I have purchased for something around 7 lakh rupees. Okay, I am trying to pay I have swiped my card and I am trying to pay 7 lakh rupees. Okay, when I try to pay 7 lakh rupees using a credit card with a limit of 5 lakhs, is it going to accept? It will say that the system behavior will be transaction decline. There is another person who has the similar credit card, but for him the transaction credit limit is 10 lakhs. Transaction credit limit is 10 lakhs. He has purchased for 7 lakhs and he is swiped. The same system behavior will be now different. What is the difference in the behavior? Transaction processing is accepted and transaction is successfully processed. Transaction is successfully processed. So a system behavior will be controlled by certain rules. A system behavior will be controlled by certain rules and regulations. System behavior will be controlled by certain rules and regulations. Those are called as business rules. In the credit card example, the business rule is credit limit. Credit limit is the one which is going to control your transaction processing. If you are trying to pay any amount which is greater than or beyond the credit limit, system declines your transaction. If you are going to pay any amount within the credit limit, system is going to accept you to pay. So same system behavior is different when you have applied different value for the credit limit. Understand clear everyone? So here credit limit. So the entire credit system is going to behave as per the credit limits and payment amount. Understand clear everyone? So here credit limit is called as business rule. Credit limit is called as business rules. Everyone clear? So far online students, are you clear? Are you clear about business rule? Just I am explaining in the real world. Technically I am not going. Aruna, what is the question? Quickly you can post the question or you can ask the question. Aruna. Okay, you can post the question here. Now, what is the difference between Appian and Pega? That's not a relevant question now. I'll tell you later. Okay. So I told you we do not want to deviate in between to anything else. We want to go in a proper flow just to make it clear that you should be able to understand what is BPM, what is Pega. Today, that is the goal. Any questions related to what is going on are very important. Okay. We do not want to deviate so that others will get confused. Okay. I'll cover it later if required. Okay. Now, simply to tell you, Appian requires coding, Pega doesn't require coding. That's it. Okay. Now all the business rules. See, a system will have so many rules. You are applying so many rules. So wake up time 5 a.m. One rule you have applied for yourself. Breakfast time 9 a.m. One rule, another rule you have. So exercise time, okay, 8 a.m. Okay, another rule. 3 rules are there within your mind. 3 rules are. As per the rules only, your lifestyle is happening and you are being controlled. Yes or no? So I want to eat this, I don't want to eat this. I want to drink this, I don't want to drink this. I want to do this, I don't want to do this. All these are certain limitations that you are applying yourself and your lifestyle and your body, your biological system is being controlled by these rules only. And clear? So like this, all the business rules, whatever the limitations you are going to keep are stored in your mind, right? The same way, all the business rules will be stored in a database, called as business rules database, In BPM, what do you have? We have process. First thing is process. What process is going to do? It will define the transaction life cycle. To define transaction life cycle, we have process. These are the components in BPM. Next, business rules are there. What are there? Business rules. Business rules controls the BPM system. And third one is business rules database is there, which is a storage place of business rules. Anything, any limitation, anything you want to apply yourself, where do you store it? You store in your mind. Mind is a storage place. In the same way, in the software, storage place is called as database. All the business rules will get stored into database. See, whatever that you have stored in your mind, it should be driven. Yes or no? It should be driven. When it is being driven, then only you perform some action. Yes or no? In order for you to perform an action, whatever the limitations or whatever the thoughts that you have in your mind, thought should be driven from your storage place to your heart or something. So accordingly you will perform an action. Yes or no? So in a BPM environment, business rules are being stored. In a BPM environment, business rules are being stored in a database called as business rules database. And BPM environment is available. BPM tool is there, database is there. Two different components. Now how this business rules will be driven from business rules database to till BPM environment to achieve your goal? That's the question. I'll tell you a simple example. See, we have an agriculture land. We have 1 acre agriculture land. Our main goal is just we wanted to do the cultivation. That's the main motive. But for that you need something. So you have to supply water. What do you need to supply? You need to supply water. So just a distance away from your agriculture land, you have some canal or you may have some well. Okay. Now your goal is to do the cultivation. To achieve your goal, you have to drive the water. From the canal to till your agriculture land. How can you achieve that? Generally, what is happening today in real life? You can see here. So you will be using a motor. Engine. You will fix your motor engine one side to this canal, and another side the pipe is going to be connected into your agriculture land. So motor engine when running, it is going to drive the water from the canal to your agriculture land. That makes you to achieve your required goals. Okay, so I said you credit card example, right? Credit limit is stored in the database. It is not written on my credit card. Nowhere on your credit card credit limit is written, right? So credit limit is there in the database. Credit card application here at the purchase center. When you swipe the card, what is happening? When we swipe the card, something is happening. That is, from the database, credit limit is being driven. To the application. Like how you are driving the water from your canal to this particular agriculture land. Credit limit is the value which is being driven. Business rule. That business rule is being driven from business rules database to till application in order to achieve whatever you wanted to do. Yes or no? How this happens in the real life? Same thing. So BPM as an architecture, BPM as a tool, it has certain components in it. That those are process, business rules. Business rules will store into a database called as business rules database. And in order to drive this business rules from business rules database to till application, we need some engine. Here it is software, right? For this, we need a software program. One predefined program we need, which has the ability to interact with the business rules database, drive the rule. That what credit limit, it has to interact with the database and drive the credit limit from database to application, so that your actual task will be done whether accepted or declined for the payment. Yes or no? For that, we need something called as business rules engine. What is it called as? So engine here doesn't mean hardware. Engine here means a software program. So in between your BPM environment and your database, in between something else is called business logic. That's what a predefined product available in the component. This is called as business rules engine. Engine is the heart of anything. For us, engine is heart. For a car, engine is there. Engine is not there means no use. Nothing. Engine drives everything. Engine drives everything. So in a BPM environment, you have a process to design the transaction life cycle, and business rules are there which will control the BPM system, and business rules database is there which will store the business rules into it, and business rules which are stored in business rules database will be driven by a software program called as business rules engine. Business rules engine, like this you can see here. Scroll down, you can see here. So software application database, and in between business rules engine. Engine is going to drive, it's not hardware, it's a software program, is going to interact with the database, drive the business rules from BPM environment to till application. Everyone clear about these four components in BPM architecture? Every one of you, all these four works together in order to make you implement something, in order to make you execute something on the BPM environment. So this is what BPM is, a software tool used to develop the applications and process your business transactions, where you can design your transaction model like a process or flow diagram, and it contains business rules to control the system. Business rules are stored in a database called as business rules database. The business rules which are stored in the database will be driven by a software program called as business rules engine. Make sense? Clear now? Now coming to the point. Pega is called as BPM tool. Pega is called as BPM tool. Why you are calling Pega as a BPM tool? What are the BPM tools available in market just by name? Pega, Appian, Cordis, Blaze, Activity, Kissflow. So many BPM tools are Mendix, Uncork. So many business tools are available in the market to define your business process management. But out of which Pega is a leader in the BPM world. How Pega is a leader? Tomorrow you'll come to know. You have so many operating systems. Who is leader in the market generally? In the retail market, who is leader? Microsoft only leader in the software systems. Why? Because Microsoft, whatever the operating system it has provided, it is very easy to use, comfortable to use, good support, everything is user friendly and common man can understand. So there are certain factors that are going to differentiate a product from other products to make it a number one in the market. Like that, Pega also certain features we will discuss tomorrow about that point. Now, Pega is a software development tool. Pega is a software development tool. So far, whatever we have discussed about BPM, I just told you at the very beginning, consider BPM as a tool. But BPM is a methodology. BPM is a methodology. It's not a reality. BPM is a methodology. It means, like, I can tell you, it is like a plan. It is like a plan. So if you want to develop your applications and process your business, you can develop an applications development software where the software product has process, business rules database, business rules engine. Now you take a model. They are providing one model. Okay. Pega is a BPM tool for your information, Abdul, and Pega also has a CRM. That's a different question. Okay. Now here you go now. So if you are going to, if any company, you can post your doubt if you have anything relevant, Abdul. You can post your doubt here if anything relevant to currently what we are discussing. Otherwise, other type of queries, I'll give you day 3. Completely, I'll give you day 3 to sort out your queries. Okay. And anyone can adopt the BPM methodology and can build a software product. You can adopt BPM methodology, use some technologies, take BPM methodology, build a software product. The software product, if it has process, business rules database, and business rules engine, and the product is used to develop the applications and process your business transactions, then that product is said to be BPM tool. So if you want to call a tool as BPM tool, why these tools are all being called as BPM tools? Because these tools are going to allow you to design your transaction model like a flow diagram or process, These tools have business rules. These tools have business rules database, and these tools have a predefined software program called as business rules engine. So Pega is built based on BPM methodology. That's why Pega is called as BPM tool. Who has built this tool? There is a company called as Pega Systems. What is the company name? Pega Systems is a software company which has built and developed a tool using BPM methodology, and they named the tool as PRPC. What is the name of the tool? PRPC. They named the tool as PRPC. I'll write here PRPC. Okay, and here you go now. So PRPC stands for Pega Rules Process Commander. PRPC stands for what? Pega Rules Process Commander. You will understand what is the reason behind this name, Pega Rules Process Commander. See, if Pega Systems has developed a tool called as PRPC for application development and processing your business, if it is a BPM tool, it should have all these 4 components which are available in BPM. BPM, whatever the 4 components available, same component should also be available in Pega. Then only you call Pega as a BPM tool. Yes, it has, but the naming convention in Pega is different. Naming convention is Pega is different for 2, 3, 4. For first one, it is the same name. Here, whatever you call process, the same you call here in Pega also. In Pega also, a process is called as, this is called as process or flow to design your transaction model. Pega is a software tool used to develop applications where you can design your transaction model using a flow diagram. And in BPM, we have business rules. In Pega also, we have business rules. But what is the naming convention you follow here is Pega rules. What is the naming convention you follow? If I say Pega rules, in general, in BPM terminology, it is BPM rules only. It is BPM rules. Pega rules controls the Pega rules process commander system. Okay. So Pega rules is controlled. Pega rules is being controlled. Pega rules are going to control Pega rules process commander tool. Understand clear, everyone? Pega rules are going to business rules are going to control the BPM system. No, same way Pega rules controls the Pega rules process commander tool. Now you have business rules database. You have business rules database. Similar to this, in Pega also there should be some database which is used to hold the business rule Pega rules, right? We have a database called as rule base. Here, what is the terminology? If I say rule base, means rule base stores Pega rules. Business rules database stores business rules. In the same way, rule base stores Pega rules. And you should have a software program which is acting as a business rules engine which interacts with the rules database and drives the rules. So in order to interact with the business rules database and drive the business rules from business rules database to till environment to achieve your goal, we need a software program. That's what we are calling as business rules engine. In Pega, the same can be called as process commander. What do you call it? Process commander. Process commander. So process commander in Pega is a core heart. It's a program. It's an engine. So process commander interacts with rule base in order to drive Pega rules from rule base to till Pega PRPC environment to achieve your required goals. You understand why Pega is called as BPM? Pega is built based on BPM architecture. That's why Pega is called as a BPM tool. It can provide the BPM solutions. Now, if you divide PRPC into 2 parts, PR stands for Pega rules. Pega rules get stored into rule base. PC stands for process commander. Process commander drives Pega rules from rule base to environment to achieve required goals. Do you clearly understand now what is the abbreviation of PRPC and why it is called PRPC? The name they did not give so simply. PRPC has a proper meaning. Process commander interacts with rule base, drives Pega rules from rule base to environment to achieve required goals. Understand clear, everyone? So overall the conclusion is BPM and Pega. Pega is built based on BPM architecture. That's why you call it as BPM tool. Pega has process to define the transaction life cycle. Pega has Pega rules, rule base to store the Pega rules. A process commander software program is provided with the tool which will drive Pega rules from rule base to till application to achieve the required goals. Make sense clear, everyone? So this is what we have learned. Today we have learned about what is BPM, its architectural components, what is Pega, why Pega is called as BPM, what is the purpose of Pega in real world. These are the points we have discussed. We are going to share you this PPT document and this class running notes document, whatever I have drafted at a high level here, just for your clarity of information in a shortcut way. And we are going to send you FAQ document, and this video will be uploaded into YouTube. For first 3 days only we'll upload into YouTube, and that YouTube link will be provided. 4 things you are going to receive today from us on WhatsApp. And just an announcement, I'll take your question, Abdul, please wait. And so if any one of you wanted to talk to me about your career guidance and all, you can call me on this number. You can note down this number. This is my personal number, 8862666619. But if you have already had career guidance from our course advisors, then that is sufficient. Or if you still wanted to talk to me, I will be available after 12 o'clock for Indian students. For USA students and other countries, call me India time evening around 6 p.m., 6:30 p.m., 7, 8:30 p.m., 9 p.m. max. Okay. So Indians can call, from India you can call. Okay. Clear, every one of you? And also one more thing is, like, all of you must have received a WhatsApp message from us from 9652532753. There are some students who will receive maybe the meeting link they have received from their friends, maybe the address you have got from your friend and you came here. That means you are not receiving any updated messages from this number. If you are such student, please save this number now in your phone and mention your name and attended Pega demo class day 1, attended Pega demo day 1. This is what you wanted to mention, so that our team will understand that you did not have any conversation with us so far, and they will make sure to send you daily updates. That means today's class running notes and today's class PPT document, today's class video link. You can see here on the screen the number. You can see here on the screen. Oh, I'm sorry, 9652532753. I'm so sorry. 9652532753. I'm sorry. Thank you for that. And they will understand that you are not receiving updates from us, so they will make sure to share you everything. Clear, everyone? And let me go ahead with this question. Okay. Yes, those two numbers, my personal number, and you need to contact always on admin number. Only for career guidance you talk to me. So will the classes be live for whole 3? See, always it is live, and we'll provide recorded video at the end of the class. I will tell you the process. Process related information I'll cover on day 3. Okay, or day 2 maybe we'll get 15 minutes time. I'll cover so many process related questions, your doubts and clarifications. I am pretty much sure that today I did not give you time to ask me about your personal questions, doubts, so many doubts. But I am sure that I am going to clarify each and every doubt before we enter into the course. That will be done on day 3, and we are going to send you FAQ document. Pega can be used to develop any type of applications. Okay, but Pega is used in a market, Abdul. Pega is used in the market to develop specific types of applications only as of today, that I will tell you. If you want to develop applications like Phone Pay, Google Pay, Paytm, IRCTC, yes, you can very well develop using Pega, no doubt about it. But Pega is meant for business process management applications. You will come to know slowly what is specific types of applications. So tomorrow I am going to tell you further about Pega architecture. Tomorrow is going to be an important session. So up to this slide, 18th slide, we have covered. So to cover rest of the slides, it will take almost half an hour time. So why Pega is a leader in the market and what is the architecture of Pega, all this I will cover tomorrow in first half an hour. The second half an hour, I will clarify your doubts and queries. Okay, further on general questions, general doubts and all. So for today, we can wind up. It is 8 o'clock. We started our session sharp 7 o'clock. As it is first day, I did not wait for anyone. So I request every one of you, please be available here at least 5 minutes before 7 o'clock and join the online meeting at least 5 minutes before. I will be joining 15 minutes before to your class time to clarify your doubts on regular day-to-day basis. Apart from that, for doubts clarification, we have a separate process which I will tell you. Okay, clear everyone? So today's session, every one of you clear? Are you good with everything? Only questions related to what we have discussed I can take up tomorrow morning. And I have another running batch at 8 o'clock. So I will wind up today's session sharply 8 o'clock. Every day on dot 7 o'clock we will start, on dot 8 o'clock we will wind up. 60 minutes we want to utilize properly. I will give you time to ask me questions because this is a general session. You might have found me that I am, maybe my rate of speech is a little bit faster, but your technical classes will not be like this pace because this is general information with real time. I might have went a little covering up the things, okay, but still I make sure that you understand it every moment, okay. And your regular classes will go even pretty slower than this, okay. So make sure you attend regularly. Tomorrow also use the same meeting link to connect online, and classroom students, you come down to the classroom anytime. If it is not possible, vice versa, you can attend, no problem. Classroom students online, online students classroom. You can suppose on an emergency like this. It's already late for the other batch. I'm going to close the meeting. Thank you so much for joining. Tomorrow we'll meet sharp 7 o'clock. We'll start our session, same meeting link, and you can come down here, okay. So I will talk to you personally maybe after afternoon time, or you can call me, okay. If you are nearby, you can come down afternoon, I can talk to you. Otherwise you can make a phone call, okay. Clear everyone? You can wind up for today. Thank you for joining, but come on time. Most of you, everyone have come on time. మీరు రేపటి నుంచి ఆన్ టైం రండి లాస్ట్ ఫస్ట్, ఓకే. యూ కెన్ మైండ్ అప్. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ ఎవ్రీ వన్ ఆఫ్ యూ. ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ టు క్లోజ్ ద మీటింగ్. థ్యాంక్ యూ. All the classes will be live and we'll provide recorded videos as I told. Okay, thank you.